super excited to present Mr. Burt Bergen. You guys probably know him from Wear Black Biz. He is our Chief Operations Officer, and he's got a presentation for us.
Everything they said we couldn't do is kind of happening. And actually, this was happening before Donald Trump, so you're not gonna give him any credit. All right, cool. So, as we think Black brand, we think Chamber of Commerce. There's a question that comes up: why Black brand? And so today I'm going to try to answer that question. So, if you could go to todaysmeet.com, and so that allows you to give feedback real time. All right, one of my favorite guys here, Marcus Garvey. Marcus says, liberate the minds of men and women, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men. Marcus Garvey, when he first came to America, he was in search of Booker T. Washington. And Marcus is from island of Jamaica, which is in the Caribbean. And you know, his people were downtrodden economically, and he was looking for solutions, kind of like we are in our communities. They're looking for solutions to address the disparities that's taking place in our community. However, Marcus got delayed in getting to America, and so by the time he got here, Booker T. Washington had died. And so when he eventually began to do was go around to different communities and make an assessment. What he found was, in addition to what was happening in Jamaica, he found that in America too, that our people were also economically downtrodden. But there was a different caveat. In America, so-called Negroes were being lynched, and that blew him away. And so what Marcus Garvey's final conclusion was, he says that you have to get back to ownership, we have to get some equity in this thing. And so Marcus Garvey began a journey that would pretty much historically polarize not just us in this country, but throughout the entire world. If you want something said, you probably get a dude to do it. But if you want to get some real work done, you get consistency. They don't play. They don't play.
I run a Black-owned company. In other words, it's a minority-based company. Most of my employees are Black or Hispanic, and I deliberately started that years ago because of the unfortunate dilemma of minorities in the workforce and in the entertainment field, where Blacks generate billions of dollars. We don't often get the opportunity to reap the benefits from that money that we generate. And considering that I generate part of that billion, I'm going to take it back to the community that put me here in the first place.
So, but yeah, that was just interesting. Wanted to share that piece with you just briefly. Why Black brand? School to Prison Pipeline. I recently learned this, not from a predominantly Black organization, but from a predominantly white organization, that Virginia is the #1 state for school to prison pipeline. The pass this around. You can see I've highlighted Norfolk. Norfolk's the #1 city in the state for school to prison pipeline. All right. Now my son, when he was in the 4th grade, my oldest son Bryson, he's 12 years old now. When he was in the 4th grade, he was getting ready to take the SOLs, and I sat him down and we ran over a book called How to Raise Black Boys by Dr. Jawanzi Kunjufu. In the book, Kunjufu identifies that the powers that be have identified the relationship between 4th grade reading scores on these standardized testing and how many prisons they need to build. I sat my son down, he was probably 10 at the time, and I read that to him, and we had a conversation. My son scored perfect on the reading section of the SOL. Perfect. But at the end of the day, all boils down to economics. How many boys, don't have, someone in their life to push this stuff on them, or make them aware of this stuff because of the economics. I know my friend Jason in the back, he made it his mission. I see the pictures all over Facebook. He has a young man that he mentors, takes him to Busch Gardens. I think you took him to DC, didn't you?
To the White House.
To the White House. Expose him, expose him. And if nothing else, just being a role model a role model. They learn so much more just by observing us, but being a role model. And I thought I'd share that briefly as well. So what can we do? What can we do when we unify our talents and our resources? In this room alone, we probably have enough people to run a city. I know because I've been building over the last few months this organization called Black Brand. Some bad people, man. I sit back in awe, like, this is crazy. I mean, Arafat, my brother Bash, Blair, DeShera, Sheena. I mean, just some bad people. My man George in the back. Just some really talented and powerful people, Chandler asks really great questions and kind of pushes us and holds us accountable. That's all important. But we got to do it together. I forgot about you, Siobhan. And Siobhan, she's helping us out with the social media piece. She's in marketing. What can we do when we bring that together? I think the elders used to talk about the talented 10 are the ones that should be doing the work. Now, I don't consider myself the most talented, but I'm probably the most passionate. And I would gladly step aside and let the most talented person do what they need to do, as long as our communities are going to benefit. As long as our communities are going to benefit. And I walked in and I was like, wow, look, the room's full. The room's full. This is like a family. We're putting our families and our communities back together. This is like the beginning. So, question is, what can we do? Spending data. Pass this around too. Here's the spending data from 2013 of how we spend in Hampton Roads, just in Hampton Roads. Okay? Pass this around. Whole housing and related services, $2.9 billion. Just in the 7 cities. How much of that is coming back home? How much of that is coming back home so that we can address what? The disparities that we talk about all the time. How many grocery stores do we own? Did you know that's part of the strategic plan of Black Brand? We want some of that money back so we can address some things. Let's talk about food. Food. $1 billion just in the 7 cities. That's a lot of money. 3 and 1, $4 billion. How is it that we have so many disparities? How? Go back to Marcus Garvey. The solution that they proposed was ownership and equity. The place where we need to iterate would be how do we protect what we build? That's the one piece we haven't figured out yet. But we know how to build, right? We know how to own. We know how to gain equity. We know all those things. The piece that I'm confused on is, once we build it, how do we protect it? The devil whispered in my ear, you're not strong enough to withstand the storm. And today, on 11/25, we've been telling them, look, man, we are the storm. We are the storm. You are the one you got to worry about. You don't have to worry about you. You got to think collectively, together. Individually, we can do a lot, but together, we can do so much more. So much more. So, hopefully by the end of this discussion, I want to say thank you for giving up your time. Again, you could have been anywhere in the world. You could have been spending all your money somewhere else, giving it away. Well, we need it. So the question is, why Black Brand? And so hopefully at the end of this discussion, at this presentation discussion, that we have some semblance of an answer or moving toward an answer of why Black Brand. And so I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that.